Well, as you can probably tell, the green screen's up and you saw the title of today's video. We are back on the tier lists temporarily. There's only like 2 tier lists that I really want to do during the offseason, and it has to do with the free agents. The first one, of course, that you're watching today is going to be the free agent position players, or hitters as it says in the title, and tomorrow will be the free agent pitchers. Now, I'm not going to tier them based on like the free agent class. I'm going to consider like, are these players actually good? Are they elite? Are they S tier, A tier, B tier? Some guys might move up a little bit because of the availability, but for the most part, I'm judging each player based on the position they play and the actual quality of play they have. Big shout out to my guy Yanks Pinstripes on Twitter. He made this for me. Go drop him a follow, links in the description. Big shout out to him for helping me out with this video. And you know what I gotta do next. Drop a like on the video if you do enjoy it. If you want to see the tier list video for pitchers tomorrow, leave a like. 3,000 likes guarantee that for you tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. Click that sub button, join the team. Get in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about my tier list. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and the second channel. Links in the description. I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch tonight. We got the PS5. We're gonna be playing Call of Duty. We're gonna be playing Assassin's Creed. I don't know what else, but we got the PS5 and I'm using it, so check me out on Twitch. I've also noticed that like the color of my face has probably changed multiple times in the video. I don't know what's going on with my lighting, but let's get going into this tier list. So first up here we got Adeiny Hechavarria, and honestly, Adeiny Hechavarria is probably gonna go in D tier. This is gonna be one of those guys that like a team is gonna sign for some serious depth. He's gonna be a bench player at best. He should not be a starter. He's gonna be a bench player, maybe a minor leaguer you keep in AAA for some injury depth. Not really much of a player there. Good glove. Brett Gardner, I think Brett Gardner's probably in C tier. He shouldn't be a starting outfielder anymore. I know he had a good year in 2019, 2020, he went back down to earth. He's getting up there in age, doesn't play as good of an outfield as he once had. He has a terrible arm. He is a pesky little player, and I think if he's going to be your 4th or 5th outfielder on the bench, that's actually a really good option, especially for a left-handed bat. Brett Gardner, C tier. As Drupal Cabrera, I'm also going to put as Drupal Cabrera in the C tier range. He's getting up there a little bit in age. His mobility is not as good as it once was. He's more of a second baseman, third baseman type. Can't really play shortstop anymore. Maybe a little bit of first base. Does provide a little bit of depth. Again, C player. Jason Castro, I'm going to put in B tier. He's actually a decent little catcher. When you look at his splits, get him against right-handed pitching, he's actually a decent hitter, and defensively, of course, that's what he's more known for. He is a defensive catcher first, but swinging the bat is not that big of an issue for him, considering how poor catching is in Major League Baseball right now. Jason Castro, I think, is going to go in the B tier. He's a pretty decent option if you need like a platoon guy. Cesar Hernandez. I'm actually going to put Cesar Hernandez as well in the B tier. He had a really solid season for the Indians. His glove has improved. His bat is still like average, honestly. He's not going to be a plus hitter at the plate for you, but he's going to get singles, doesn't strike out a whole lot, also doesn't walk a whole lot, plays a decent second base. If you're a team that has a lot of good players around him, he can be a nice 8 or 9 hitter in your lineup. But if he's the guy you're expecting a lot of offense out of, yeah, I don't know about that. Yoenis Cespedes. You know, I want to think that Yoenis Cespedes should go in B tier, but based off what we saw and based off the fact that he can't really move like he used to, and we still don't know what his like whole mobility is with the injury, he wasn't swinging the bat well, I gotta put him in C tier. Robinson Chirinos, I'm also gonna put in C tier. I mean, the dude at least was able to swing the bat in the past, but 2020, oof, he was terrible at the plate. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not huge on Robinson Chirinos. Maybe I'm being turned off because of how poorly he played with the Mets and how poorly he played with the Rangers, but it's just not very solid this year. Shin-Soo Choo? Shin-Soo Choo's it's tough. I think he probably goes in C as well. He shouldn't be one of your starting players. Again, more of the depth piece. He is pretty much a DH now, and based off how he hit last year and even in years past, he's just like above average at best offensively now. So I can't really put him in that B tier because I don't know how much better he makes a team, but again, in a team that's got a lot of pieces, maybe just needs a left-handed bat off the bench, or you're going to platoon him in DH or a corner outfield spot, maybe he has some value there, but right now, based on what we've seen with Shin-Soo Choo, I just can't put him above C. Okay, so for CJ Crone, when he is healthy, he mashes. Absolutely mashes. He's a hitter. Now, at first base, kind of got stone hands. I've never seen someone have the ball clank off his hands as much as it does with CJ Crone, but he can hit. I'm gonna put CJ Crone in B tier. I actually think you can get a lot of value out of him at first base. Nelson Cruz, I would put in S tier, but because of his age and the fact that he does, you know what, and the fact that he does play DH, I can't put him in S. So I'm gonna put him in A, but like he's obviously one of the best DHs in all of baseball. He's fantastic, and even at 40 years old, he still mashes every single year. It's unbelievable. Crazy amount of talent. Nelson Cruz is gonna go in A. Didi Gregorius, now Didi is a tough one. I actually probably am gonna put Didi in A tier. And I know I said Didi's overrated. He's a below average shortstop. And maybe he's an average shortstop. Maybe I was a little harsh on that. I don't know if he's necessarily below average, but it had to do with the fact that there's just so much talent at the shortstop position. I don't think he's one of the 15 best, but he probably is right around that number 15 range in terms of best shortstops in baseball. So I'm gonna put him in A tier. You can get a really good left-handed power bat who plays shortstop, doesn't have much of a glove anymore, got some value in a team like maybe the Angels will go after him. Derek Dietrich, Derek Dietrich C, honestly. He might even be in D. He's just not really hitting very consistently anymore. I like the guy. I like the flair. I love the bat flips, but he pretty much only hits right-handed pitching, and even then, it's like home run or bust. I think Dietrich's a C tier. DJ LeMahieu's going to go in S tier. He's one of the best free agents that you can grab on the market this year. Plays great defense, has a good bat, is hitting for power, all around a really, really good player. But DJ LeMahieu is S-tier free agent. He is a really good ball player. There are going to be a lot of teams going after him. I don't know who's going to get him. Probably the Yankees if I had to guess, but one of the better guys you can get on the market right now. Domingo Santana, man, I'm just such a believer in Domingo Santana, but year after year after year after year, he has let me down, so I got to put him in D tier. He just hasn't performed like ever. Doesn't mean he can't get better. It's just I've lost hope in it. Adam Eaton, I think, is also going to go in that C tier range. I think he's just like, again, probably a 4th or 5th outfielder right now in Major League Baseball. Maybe if you're a team who just needs a left-handed bat out there with a okay glove. I mean, he's okay. He's pesky. I don't know. He's just never really healthy anymore, and last year we kind of saw him get old for the first time, so I don't think I can really put Adam Eaton above C. Edwin Encarnacion, I still think I want to put him, I'm going to put him in C2. He's got the power, but that's pretty much it. He did not look good with the White Sox last year. He looked pretty horrible, and I don't necessarily know how much more home runs he's got left in him. Like, he's always going to hit probably, if you play a full season, 30 plus homers, but he might just hit 150. So Edwin Encarnacion, with how many guys can be DH and are available on the market, I just can't put him higher than C. Tyler Flowers. Tyler Flowers is an interesting one. I think I'll probably put Tyler Flowers in B tier. Like Robinson Chirinos can't hit, but he's pretty good defensively. Now, he can't throw out a runner to save his life, but framing, apparently he's elite. So I'll give Tyler Flowers B just because he's probably a good backup catcher. And again, in the right scenario, right situation, you could get Tyler Flowers and he could have some value for you. Logan Forsythe? D? I don't know. Logan Forsythe, like, out of all the guys that you could sign in Major League Baseball that can play the positions that he has, he's just not one of the top options for me. George Springer, I think you know where he's going. He's going S tier. He's one of the best free agents in Major League Baseball available. In fact, in my ranking, he was number 1. He's one of the better outfielders in baseball. Honestly, possibly underrated. People love to talk about the cheating scandal with the Astros, but he continued to hit last year. So George Springer's still a really good player. Don't know if he's really a center fielder anymore, but he's an elite free agent on the market regardless. Jay Bruce, I'm going to put in B tier. Jay Bruce has still got a little bit of pop left in that bat. And again, in a platoon scenario, for a DH maybe, or you're just playing in the outfield every so often, he's going to hit you home runs. He's going to hit you doubles. He's an extra base hit machine. Not going to hit for a high average. Gets on base a little bit. Okay, so call me crazy, but I think Jackie Bradley Jr. could be one of the sneakier, better free agents available on the market right now. And considering how weak center field is in Major League Baseball, I'm going to put Jackie Bradley in A tier. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Jackie Bradley clips from the last 2 years. He's really good in center field. Really, really good. He gets to a lot of baseballs, has a cannon of an arm, and we saw him hit this past season. If Jackie Bradley Jr. can even hit at the league average, he has a lot of value because of how good he is in the field. Call me crazy, but I'm going to put Jackie Bradley in A. Jed Lowry, D. He hasn't played in 2 years, and he got 8 at-bats with the Mets in his 2 seasons. I don't even know if Jed Lowry can walk. He literally hasn't played the field in 2+ years. JT Realmuto, obviously S tier. The second best or third best, I think, free agent I gave in my rankings. Really, really talented. The best catcher in baseball. Defense, bat, speed, everything you want in a player. JT Realmuto's got it. I think that's straightforward. I don't need to talk about it much more. He's so good. Matt Kemp? D? Matt Kemp's old. Is he even able to play the outfield anymore? Can he even really hit anymore? Was he playing last year on the Rockies? You shouldn't be excited if you sign Matt Kemp. Kevin Pillar, I'm going to put in B tier. And the reason is that I think Kevin Pillar's an okay hitter. I think him and Jackie Bradley are similar in the kind of hitter that they are. I just think Jackie Bradley's overall a better outfielder than Kevin Pillar. That being said, you put him in the corner, he's probably going to be elite defensively for you. In center field, maybe not so much. I'm still not sold that he can be a full-time center fielder, but in the corners, he's better. And again, more of a 4th or 5th outfielder on a team that's going to be winning, and maybe a team that's like just kind of towards the bottom of their division. He can play every day like he did with the Red Sox and Rockies. Colton Wong, I'm going to put Colton Wong in A tier. He can't really hit, but his glove is absolutely elite at second base. He's probably like the second best second baseman available after DJ LeMahieu. He's going to be wanted after many teams. The glove is there. He has shown he could hit better in the past. He just hit like crap in 2020. A tier, I think. Kurt Suzuki? Kurt Suzuki's going to be, I think, C tier for Kurt Suzuki. I think B tier for Kurt Suzuki. He's okay. With catchers, again, you want to put him in a platoon. He can swing the bat a little bit. Defensively, he's okay. But again, for catchers, it's so weak that if you play him in the right scenario, he's a good little pickup, so I'll put him in B tier. But I don't necessarily think he's a B tier catcher in baseball. I just think in terms of free agents and comparing everything, he's going to be a nice little pickup. Marcelo Zuna. I'm going to put Marcelo Zuna in S tier. Maybe it's bold, maybe it's a little crazy, but Marcelo Zuna might be the best possible DH that you can pick up on the market this year. And maybe, just maybe, if he can somehow play the outfield again, you might be able to get a really, really good outfielder. I don't know. His arm's gone. Doesn't really play the outfield great anymore, but boy, his bat was fantastic in Atlanta. He was motivated. He was determined, and we saw him play at an MVP type level. So Marcelo Zuna, I'm going to give him S tier. Nick Marchakis, C tier. I think he's in that group with Gardner and Eaton and Shin-Soo Choo and Yoenis Cespedes, guys who are over the hill a little bit, not really as good players as we once saw. He was pretty horrible in 2020, fourth or fifth outfielder type stuff. Marwin Gonzalez, oof. I'm tempted to put D tier, but he does play so many positions that there's his value right there. He can just play anywhere. So again, as a depth piece, he didn't really play much with Minnesota last year, or didn't start much. Just not really what he was in Houston. Maybe the trash can banging helped him a little bit. Cameron Maybin, C. I think he's actually probably a really good backup outfielder for you to have. Athletic, good defensively, and he hits good enough for a backup outfielder. So I'll give him a C just because he's a good backup. James McCann. Oh, I'm so tempted to put James McCann in S tier, but he's not. He's A tier, let's be honest. James McCann's going to be A tier. Really good defensively. Has started to swing the bat the last couple seasons, which is big for him because at first he was more of a defensive catcher, but now he's starting to hit. He's the second best catcher available on the market behind JT Realmuto, and honestly, he's a top 10 catcher in baseball. I think A tier is the perfect spot to put him because he is a very good catcher, not yet elite. Need to see a little bit more, but if you can't get Realmuto, McCann is a great guy to pick up instead. I don't know why I'm looking blue all of a sudden on the camera, but we're on to Mitch Moreland. Mitch Moreland, I'm going to put in the B tier. He's another one of those guys, like him and CJ Crone together. Oh, that'd be a match made in heaven for a platoon at first base. Mitch Moreland's B tier. One of the more underrated players available on the market this year. Daniel Murphy, unfortunately, is probably going to go into D tier for me. I think Daniel Murphy might be done. He's always been a good hitter for average, and last year he wasn't very good. And in Colorado, where you thought that would be like a place that he would do so amazing, he kind of had some lackluster seasons, so Murphy's going to go in D. I don't know who really goes after Murphy. He can only play first base. Joe Panic's going to go in D. He's like a depth piece again, kind of like a Danny Echeverria, except for second base and third base. And that's it. Joe Panic's a D tier. Yasiel Puig, I think Puig's an A tier. It's just he's got that sexual assault charge looming around him right now. That's definitely going to hurt his availability to be signed. No teams really want to deal with that, along with the stuff that already is around Yasiel Puig, the circus that is Yasiel Puig. But when he's on the field, when he's focused, when he's healthy, he's a really good player. So I got to put him in A tier because his talent is A tier. But the player that you get sometimes, it's not always going to be that. Wilson Ramos. I hate to do this because I really, really liked Wilson Ramos' first season with the Mets, but last year completely turned me off to the Buffalo. I don't know who signs this guy. I really don't, as I'm looking blue again. It's because I'm sad, because I don't want to talk about Wilson Ramos like this, but he's old. His knees are killing him. He's got no mobility anymore. He's like the slowest player in Major League Baseball. So Wilson Ramos, unfortunately, is going to go in D tier. And that pains because I love the Buffalo his first season. But he was so bad in 2020. He's just not much of a catcher anymore, and he's not much of a hitter either. Josh Reddick. Josh Reddick, I'm going to also put in the C tier. Josh Reddick's just okay. I don't think he should be your everyday starting outfielder. The fact that he got as much playing time with the Astros as he did is crazy, but they did have some injuries, so that makes a little bit of sense. Regardless, he shouldn't be an everyday outfielder anymore for you. The glove's okay. The bat's okay. He's an okay player. Ryan Braun, I'm also going to put in C tier. Ryan Braun doesn't really have a position in the field anymore. He was an outfielder. I think now he plays a little bit of first base. The bat wasn't there. Starting to kind of catch up with him age. I think he's like in his mid-30s now, so Ryan Braun's just an average player. The fact that the Brewers didn't even want to bring him back, I think, speaks volumes. Kung Fu Panda's D. Kung Fu Panda stinks. He's fat. He doesn't move. Doesn't hit. Doesn't do anything anymore. He stinks. Jonathan Scope. See, Jonathan Scope I'd like to put in A tier, but because he still hasn't reached the hitting that we once remembered that he had in Baltimore, I'll put him in B. Still has a good glove, still has a strong arm from second base, and can still be a very, very good hitter. Just hasn't really shown it to us just yet. Played pretty well in Detroit before getting hurt. I'll put him in B tier. Marcus Semien. I think Marcus Semien, I'll put him in A as well. I won't put him in S because he didn't have a great year last year. He's a good fielder, and I think he should be a better hitter than what we saw. I think he's an in-between of what we saw in 2019 and 2020, but you still got to take into account that 2020 was a lot more like the years we've seen in the past than 2019, so I'll put him in A tier. Eric Sogard, D tier. I mean, the reason I put him in D tier is, again, he's the Danny Echeverria, the Joe Panic. He just kind of plays every position okay. His bat is okay at times. He'll get on some hot streaks when he does play, but he's not a guy that you get on your team and you're like, yes, Eric Sogard's the difference. He's a depth piece. Jonathan VR should be better, but the man refuses to walk, swings at just some of the worst pitches I've ever seen, and the offense, it kind of disappeared once he left Baltimore, so he's going to be C tier. Not going to lie, I don't know who this guy is here on the Arizona Diamondbacks. We'll skip it. Yadier Molina, C tier. Yadi pretty much only offers defense, and his defense has been deteriorating as the years have gone on. He's still a better defensive catcher than most in the league, but he's no longer an elite defensive catcher. I expect the Cardinals to bring him back for at least another year. His bat's not really there anymore. Yadi's a great player. We'll probably go into the Hall of Fame. But right now, at the age that he's at and the beating that he's taken, I mean, he's a tough guy, but you can't grab him and say, yes, we've got Yadier Molina at catcher. That's the best guy we could have got. Okay, so I figured it out. I went into inspect element. The guy saved the picture as Vogt, but that being said, this is not Steven Vogt. Regardless, we'll consider it as Steven Vogt. C tier, left-handed catcher, platoon. So this is my tier list. We got 4 guys in S, we got a few in A, a lot in B, the most in C, and we got a few in D as well. I'd love to know what you guys think about my tier list down in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Disagree with me? Let me know what you think. I got the PS5 today, so make sure you check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/GiraffeNeckMarc, links in the description, as well as all my other social media. Drop a like on the video, 3,000, so we can get the pitcher tier list tomorrow. Subscribe to the channel, and the free agent video is coming this weekend. Saturday or Sunday, don't know yet, but it's coming this weekend. So thank you guys so much for watching. You know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video.